Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about what happens when you type www.google.com in your web browser and hit enter. You might be thinking, I know the answer to this question. This is so simple. But do you really? Can you answer an interviewer when they ask you during an interview? Think again and keep watching. You might discover something new. Have you ever stopped to think about what are these different names that we keep on using on the internet whole day long? Like google.com, they are called the domain names. Domain names are the addresses of the different website that we use to find them in the internet. We can also find these computers using their IP addresses also, but it will be so difficult to remember the series of numbers just to find a Google website. That's why we don't use them as numbers. We have given them a friendly name and we call them the domain names. Now that we know what a domain name is, every domain name is consists of three sections. The first section www is called the third level domain name. The second part and the unique part is the Google, Yahoo, Microsoft part. These are the names that different companies came up with and they registered themselves with their name, and that is what we use to find them. And the .com part is the top level domain name. Some very common other example of top level domain names are .org, .net, etc. Now that we have an idea what domains are, we will try to see how they work overall in simple 8 steps. For simplicity's sake, let's assume we have the domain that we are typing in our browser. We have never used this before. So browser and all the system in between don't know about this particular domain name we are trying to look. So in step 1, we go to our browser, type the domain name and hit enter. Now it's browser's responsibility to convert the domain name into an IP address, find the machine so that it can establish a TCP connection with the host machine and make an HTTP request to load the page. So it starts checking. It checks the browser cache, next the operating system cache, then the router cache, and it don't find it anywhere. So it moves to the default DNS server and queries it for the IP address. Default DNS servers are usually configured by our internet service providers. Now the default DNS server usually have the IP address, but in our case we know that it is not going to find it there. That's one of our assumptions. So the query next moves to the root servers. The root servers hold the location of all the top level domains such as .com, .net, .org or .fashion. Root server in general don't hold the IP addresses for a particular website, but it knows the domain name that we are trying to load ends with .com. So it moves the query to the top level domain servers responsible for .com domains. Next, the resolver queries lands on one of the .com TLD servers. Now the .com TLD servers check what is the unique name, which is Google in our case. So top level domain server moves the query to the setup servers who are responsible for google.com. So the query lands into the authoritative servers who are responsible for the unique name Google. Now authoritative servers are responsible to hold all the information for a particular unique domain name. So we finally find our IP address, which travels all the way back to our browser. So now our browser has the domain name and the corresponding IP address, and the IP address tells the browser where the site is actually loaded. So it finally makes a TCP connection with the host name and send an HTTP request and the page content gets back to the browser, which then browser interprets and loads the page. So this is how the pages get loaded in our browser when we type a domain name. For a quick recap, this is the picture of the 8 steps that I explained in the video. I will leave the link of this PDF document and the way to go to my blogging site in the description below. Thanks for watching.